Take care issues today. Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody, and welcome. My name is Mike Condon. I have the privilege of leading our franchise development team here at HomeWell. As you can see from the screen here, we got a few of our team members on with us today, and I'm super excited that you're joining us. Today, I'll go ahead and share my screen here in a second, but today's always a fun one because we get to talk about education. One of the things that we're really passionate about here at HomeWell, when you learn and go on our education journey with us, is learning about the opportunity and how we are going to help you be successful in your business. Now, we all know that starting a business is not easy. And it is on not only you as the owner, but us as a franchisor to support you in that growth of your franchise business. And here at HomeWell, we take that very seriously. So for today, I'm excited to jump into a little bit what it's going to look like as you're opening your franchise with a slide or two, and then why we feel education is so important in this space and how we're going to help you continue to educate and grow within the home care space in order to run a great agency. So with that, I will click the fancy buttons here and share my screen. All right. Everybody give me a thumbs up if you can see that. Perfect. Awesome. As I said, today we're going to talk a little bit about our learning and onboarding process, but I'm going to incorporate a lot of what we talk about today and learn about our learning lab. It is a tool that we launched just over probably 2 years ago now that has revolutionized how we educate and train here at HomeWell and honestly, how the industry looks at it. And I'm happy to share some of those slides with you. But before we jump into that, I want to talk a little bit about what does it look like to open your HomeWell franchise. One of the major questions we get, especially with people that are maybe a little bit farther in the process, that really understand the model is, okay, great. I move forward. I'm excited to start my HomeWell agency. I've signed my franchise agreement. Now what? I just wanted to kind of share with you this slide that shows a little bit about kind of the three phases that you go through out as an owner in order to launch your business. As you can see, phase one is what we call our pre-licensing phase. Um, we're gonna, depending on the state that you're in, if there is a licensure process or not, this can move quickly, more quickly, or a little bit slower, depending on that. But as you can see, it's about a 60-day time period in that phase one where you're going to get established, get all your logins and everything for all of our systems. We're going to be setting up your weekly coaching calls and onboarding calls with the onboarding team. You're going to go through and you're going to set up your entity and complete that process. And really a big portion of that, if you are in a licensure state, is getting prepared to submit for your license, a process that we are going to help with and be on that journey with you. But we're going to do all of those things kind of in that pre-launch or phase one pre-licensing phase. Again, one of the biggest questions we get is, do I need my EIN and my business accounts and all the stuff set up prior to moving forward? You do not. We are going to help you on that. We have a very detailed process on everything you need in order to start that process off right. Phase two, we're going to get into more ops and sales, business strategy, coming up with your business plan. What does that look like? We have a very laid out, thought out process for how to develop your business plan. We're going to talk about projections and break even numbers. We know the number one reason why businesses fail is lack of preparation when it comes to funding your business. So we're going to make sure we got a dialed in plan for that. And we're going to look at that competitive analysis. What does that look like in your market? How do we compare? Where's our pricing going to be? A lot to do within that kind of phase two, really the nitty gritty of learning HomeWell, the business, the industry, and how you're going to be set up for success as you launch your agency in there. Again, that's where a lot of this learning lab is going to come into play, is you're really going to be hitting hard within the learning lab. We'll jump into that here in a minute. But that's where a lot of this is going to come in. And then phase three is kind of that final wrap up countdown, right? I'm from Detroit, so I think of the final countdown of when the Pistons were actually a good basketball team. So don't hold me accountable for that. But again, we're going to confirm that your vendors are all, or you know what vendors you're going with, that your website's all squared away, that your marketing's all set. You're going to be starting to recruit office staff and caregivers, and really building that ready launch business ready to go. We're going to come out and visit you. I think that's probably the most important part of phase three. Typically about 2 weeks prior to you launching your business, we're going to come out and and visit you. Your business coach, your opening services manager are going to come out, have a sit down with you over a couple day period and really ensure that you are ready to go, that you have everything in place, and that you're set up for success when you launch your business. So again, as you can see here, this is just kind of a glimpse and a high level overview of what it looks like, of how we're going to help you be successful with launching your business. And I thought it'd be just a great time to share this slide with you. But let's jump into a little bit why learning is so important and why we believe so heavily in that education piece. We know that the engagement part of what we do here is critical to our owner success. As you can see, 92% of employees say that training has a positive effect on engagement. So we want to give tools that allow that to happen, not only for you as an owner, but within your agency. It also affects retention and results, right? When you're able to give your employees tools to get better, it equates to higher retention rates, right? You can see that. This is across the board. These stats that we're quoting here is not only in the home care space, but across the board for companies. And then how you train. One of the questions we get is, well, how come you don't have us come into a corporate office for 5 days and sit in a classroom and learn? Guys, it doesn't work. I think, and maybe, when you look back, 20, 30 years ago, that was a very standardized process and still is today with a lot of franchise systems. We don't believe in it. We want the training to be interactive over a long period of time versus come in for 5 days, here's all your material and good luck. That's not what we want to do. So a lot of our training is set up virtually through workshops, through our learning lab, which we're talking about today, and on demand. Right? Because the biggest thing we have found is that you might learn something today, but in 3 months, you're going to want to relearn that material, or you're going to get a different perspective on it where you want to learn it again. So on-demand training is the biggest reason why we launched our learning lab and why it has been so well accepted throughout not only HomeWell, but throughout the industry itself. The learning lab, that was a big slide to welcome the learning lab. There you go. So what is it? It is a platform, as I said, of on-demand learning for you that as you go through your training, you're going to be given different courses, content, digestible pieces of information to learn. We are proud to say that it won the Brandon Hall Award for learning and development. And this is a really important award for the fact that this isn't just in home care. This isn't just in franchising. This is like throughout all companies, throughout all of America and throughout the world. It is a huge deal that how this was what we did to win this award. I'm so proud of our education team, Erica and Matt, who developed this. That really is their brainchild to come in here and really execute and deliver a product that not only is great now, but is built for great in the future. That is the nice thing about this platform. It's going to continue to grow and scale with us and with you as an owner to incorporate more and more as we learn more about what our owners need in order to be successful. It's our home for learning, right? It's self-paced, interactive online modules built to learn, to teach you about the industry, about operational topics, about KPIs, about everything you need to know about this business. We just launched a business series on it of how to manage P&Ls. What does it look like if you want to go ahead and sell your agency? What is that process like? We're always adding new content to this. It, again, has been a game changer as far as our owners are concerned. Obviously, any new owners coming in are mandatory, are using this as a mandatory tool in order to launch their business. But what has been shocking, I think, to a lot of us here on the corporate side is the adoption of the legacy owners, our owners that have been with us for 5, 10, 15 years, how they're using it for all the reasons that I talked about before. It's been a really impressive tool. You're going to be able to see, how you're doing with your badges, what do you need to continue to do? It's going to have resources and vendor webinars, virtual workshops. Everything is run through the Learning Lab. From my perspective, I think one of the nicest things and biggest advantages for our owners through the Learning Lab is hiring and onboarding. So when you hire somebody, you're not going to have to sit there with a manual and go through pages in order to teach them. That's what the Learning Lab is there. So when you bring on your scheduler, when you bring on your care manager, or when you bring on your second care manager, right, you're going to have tools at your disposals in order to help them get up to speed fast without taking your time away to sit there and have to train them or other staff members as well. So it's your all-in-one shop for learning, education, and growing within your agency, and as importantly for your staff. This slide just talks a little bit of kind of our pathway, right? Our pathway to get you to that LaunchWell certification. Again, this is a general outline. There's a lot of steps in between here that we go through, but really what we're getting to is completing it of open, right? You see at the bottom there the blue or the fireworks and everything going off of that milestone being open. That's really what we're going to work through, and our learning lab is going to have a roadmap to help get you there. We have a very thought out, defined process for that. Again, we want you to be as successful as you can be, and our job is to make sure you have the tools and resources in order to get there. And that's really what this is all about. So you're going to go through these, and they're broken down into those different buckets, very specific topics, industry. We're going to go through in not only industry, but learning specifically about HomeWell, learning about franchising, learning about business, learning about, again, the different metrics you're going to identify. How do we recruit caregivers? All of those things are built into this platform that you're going to have access to on demand. So whether you want to do it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or if you're like some people, 2 in the morning, I'll be sleeping. That's typically the nice thing about it is you can do it at on your time, and you're going to work with our opening services team in order to get you to that exciting part of being open. Online learning modules, again, very simple, structured. It offers an interactive way to drive engagement. When you take these courses, I don't want you to think of some of these courses as, I'm going to sit on here for 2 hours and do all these. It's literally 10 to 20 minutes per course, very digestible pieces, and are very interactive. They're real life scenarios. I don't know how they build these things on the back end. I ask Matt, who builds a lot of our modules all the time, like, how do you incorporate and do all this? And he's like, it's magic. And I'm like, okay, I believe you. It's above our pay grade here, but it's a lot of fun to see in real life how they're applicable to you as an owner. So the online learning modules are really that tool to allow you to do that and really get that structured learning through participation and assessments. Sorry about that. That would have been helpful if I did that before. Live trainings. One of the questions we get is, well, is the only way that we're going to learn this stuff is through these modules? Of course not. We're going to do live virtual trainings with you. Michelle Cohn and her training team are really awesome at looking at the overall business picture and say, okay, well, what do we need? We have a sales and onboarding class, or sales and marketing training that you specifically go through. That's a live workshop where you're going to practice. You're going to do role playing, and you're going to hear kind of best practices and sharing different strategies in order to be successful. So combining both the online on-demand content along with these live virtual trainings where you're going to be in a room with other owners, and really understanding what they're going through, understanding what you're going through, and being able to ask questions and practice has really been a fantastic tool for us to incorporate both of those types of technologies and learning habits into one area. Something else that we love to do here are what we call these peer-to-peer roundtables. So they're typically on a quarterly session, and what these are is you're basically getting together with a like-minded owners in these peer-to-peers, and you're gonna share and you're gonna hear experiences. But what are even the greater the better tool that we use for that, I'm sorry, my words are not working right now, is these sessions are not only held for you as an owner, but they're held for your staff. So care managers, your sales reps, HR recruiters, schedulers, where we're going to bring those people together so they can share best practices. The beautiful thing about being a part of a franchise system is that you're able to leverage others within that. A lot of times when you're in a business and you have your care manager, the care manager might think they're all by themselves because maybe they only talk to you and your other staff. It's very easy to forget that you have over 120 other owners with the same role within their agencies that are doing the exact same thing. So we want to bring all of those people together. These have been wildly successful here at HomeWell, and we're going to continue to build upon those to continue to share and educate not only you as the owner, but your staff members and how to really help and grow your agency. how will it help support me? There's a lot I don't know, right? These are some common questions and valid concerns that we get. Again, relevant courses. Here are some of them listed here that are going to talk about, I don't know a lot about the industry. How is that going to help me really get up to speed? Here's some relevant courses when it comes to that. I don't have any experience running a business. All the courses that you're going to go through in order to run a business, understand management of your business, especially when it comes to managing cash flow, profitability, and maximizing business for future sale. I think that's a big one that we just launched that has been a really adopted course is how do we maximize the exit value of our business when and if that time comes? How do I get clients, right? Always a question we get is, well, where do I get them from? Here are a bunch of courses on specifically how do you do home care sales? Where does it look like? What are we talking about when we say skilled nursing facilities and in-home inpatient rehab facilities? Again, we're going to teach you about all of those things. I'm honestly not sure how to operate it. Again, we're going to walk you through the tactics and the tactical plan of how you do that. All of these courses are all built within the Learning Lab and constantly being updated and modified in order to fit today's business and business environment. And of course, hiring is always a question we get. So we have a bunch of courses built out around hiring. What does that look like? And more importantly, how do we keep them, right? What does that look like? And how do we continue to grow from there? How do I measure success? What does it look like? Again, this is something that your business coach is really going to dive into it with. But again, we're going to go through what does it look like? What are your KPIs in your business? What matters when you're looking at numbers and how do we know we're being successful? We're going to teach you and train you on how to really do this all within the Learning Lab. That was a lot of content. Guys, this was again, there's so much built within this learning lab that we could spend 2 hours on here going through it. I'm glad you don't have to listen to me for 2 hours babble on about our learning lab. It's awesome. That's pretty much what I'll say. But it's a great tool for you guys as owners coming in to really engage, to learn, to grow. And it doesn't stop when you launch your business. That's the key. It continues on as you grow and scale your business, and it adapts with you to help you continue to be successful here with us at HomeWell. Awesome.